Today we're having an event here. It's called the Young Artist Showcase Judging. This is an event we do every year. Sister Cities International, and we say international because it truly is a worldwide event. We have young people from all over the world participating in competition on a theme that they are represented in their art piece. And this year the theme is a very appropriate theme, especially for Santa Barbara, and that's water conservation, water sustainability, clean water, potable water, all the things having to do with how do we preserve our water, precious resource. Years ago, Sister Cities International wanted to create themes, different themes that young people can focus on and draw their images of what they have in their mind. We feel that people, once they have an impression and a thought in their mind and they focus on it, that carries forever as part of their life then. So we think it's important to develop these themes of friendship, themes of citizen diplomacy, themes of water conservation. And so this year the theme is water conservation, and every community that gets involved then throughout the United States and throughout the world that have city relationships has an art contest of all the local young artists, and we're having our judging here today. We have about 60 entries that came in from young students, and we will select three, and those three and will be two honorable mentions, and those five will go to Washington, D.C., where by April 1st, where they'll be judged with the art pieces that come throughout the rest of the community and throughout the world. And the winners here will get $250 and $100 for the second place winner, and the third place winner will get $75, and the honorable mentions will be then just mentioned as one of the entries that went into the global competition. Just add that, reinforce the idea that Sister Cities International, that talks about citizen diplomacy and community recognition of communities, importance of what sustainability is all about, that we implant that in our young people so that we have sustainable communities in the future. If we get that in young people's mind, then our future of sustainability is a little more, could be a little something that we can look forward to.
I'm here as a judge for the Youth Art Contest for Sister Cities International, and there are several pieces of outstanding artwork here done by mostly junior high students, and it was very difficult to pick a winner. So we have three winners, first, second, and third prize, and two honorable mentions.
You know, it's hard for me, especially as someone who worked in arts education for 40-some years, to, try to say one is better than another. I like it to be all appreciated, which they are. And they're just beautiful. And it warms my heart to see this work and to have the students here with their parents, and that they will be appreciated today.
This particular theme this year has to do with water conservation and climate change. So it provokes the students to actually think about this as a theme, and these are the children that are going to grow up in this world. These students are really deep thinkers, and the work that they have put out is very thought-provoking. So, like Kathy says, it's impossible to judge. I'm an artist myself, and this is probably one of the least favorite things that I have been asked to do, to judge other people's artwork. It's so subjective, so it's not fair to anyone, and it's a matter of taste. But there are levels of skill. There are works that do stand out in terms of interpretation of the theme and their skill set, how they compose the pieces. So that's how we ended up judging it. But it was really tight in some cases.
And it's clear that they all understand the problem that, you know, on which the theme is based.
Yeah.
You know, this is clear. And anyway, I think they're all winners.
And this is being sponsored by the Santa Barbara Sister City Board. And unfortunately, our president, Pat Fowling, could not make it. But I wanted to introduce a few people. There's the president of Sister Cities, Kotar, Montenegro, George Lilly, and his wife Denise.
Talk about a little bit of the great programs they have.
What's that?
They're great programs they have.
No, yeah, they have a wonderful program, and one of the programs is a chef's program, Chef Exchange. So.
The other one is the Music Academy of
Oh, and they also the Music Academy of the West.
I like that.
They bring in performers from Kotar
From all over the
for their contest.
And they do
And then-
the basketball, the
Oh, and they also do. No, what else do you do?
water polo.
Water polo with UCSB. Those are great programs. And then we have, where's Sebastian? Sebastian Aldana. He's with the Santa Barbara, president of the Santa Barbara Puerto Vallarta Sister City. And we have some pretty good programs too, don't we?
The best.
Name some.
All kinds.
Kids with cancer.
Various clinics benefiting poor people.
Yeah, we have started a rehab clinic in the 1980s down there, and we still support it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Volcanis Sewing School.
The clinic.
Also with the kids.
Oh, with the kids.
Oh, feeding the kids, right. So, and just, there's so many programs you can't even remember.
That is trying to take course. Ronald McDonald, yes,
Yeah.
And the Imaginary Festival.
Oh, and the best one is the Marinari Festival. And we've been doing that for 15 years.
We were saving the best for last.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to introduce our city council member, Oscar Gutierrez. Oscar, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Politicians.
I'll keep it short. I just want to thank everyone for being here and being a part of this and putting on this great event, and for everything that you do to represent our community in our city. Thanks. I should know better. I work in audio and video, so thanks for pointing it out. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for everything they do to represent our community around the world, and what a great event this is, and what a great example of diplomacy that we're doing, especially in a time like now. So thank you.
You know, before, I also there's a few students here, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. I see a student over there.
All right.
Just introduce yourself, your name, and the school you go to.
Hello, my name is Carson Ryder Jazerkowski, and I go to Goleta Valley Junior High School.
Thank you. And now I see another student. She has a hat on.
She's over here.
Oh, I can't see. Oh,
There's two of them over here.
oh, the two students, come over here. You have to start early and how to handle a microphone. Yeah, just say your name and the school you go to.
I'm Hannah Lovejoy, and I go to GB. I'm Luna Witherell, and I also go to GB.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yeah. I'm coming to you. And we also have a special guest from the Santa Barbara Symphony, Catherine Martin, and her husband. He's from England. Would you like to say something, Catherine? You're fairly new to the community.
I am new to the community, Peter, and I am, we moved here 3 years ago, which is a long time, except when we were in a pandemic. And so we're just now looking forward to meeting everybody in person. And it was not our plan for me to be the CEO of the Santa Barbara Symphony when we moved here. But I was so happy to receive a phone call asking if I would lead the symphony through this pandemic and beyond. So I'm so excited to learn. And Bonnie, Carol, where are you? Thank you so much for inviting me and introducing me to this group, because you all do so much, and I have so much to learn about what you're doing. And look for ways where Peter and I can contribute as individuals. And also I'm very curious to see how the Santa Barbara Symphony might be able to be a good neighbor and a good community partner. I saw in your newsletter that you have all been invited to attend Fandango, our May concert with composer Arturo Marquez, who is the preeminent composer in the world, and he's coming up with his wife from Mexico, so maybe we can create a reception or welcome for him, and that's May 1st and May 5th, which is also known as Cinco de Mayo, as it turns out. So I would like to also put my husband on the spot and invite Peter up to the microphone. But thank you so much for your warm welcome.
I'd just like to say a few words. I retired to Santa Barbara from San Diego, 33 years in the aerospace industry, and now I'm writing kids' books. So to see all the pictures in there, I've got one book that I've already got mapped out that's about trash and how it's kind of taking over the world. So I'm interested to see how I can collaborate with some of the artists who have got their works on display today. So really interested to do that. Maybe have a couple of kids that can do the illustrations for my book. So really pleased to be here and see that. Always looking for extra illustration artist help. I'm not an artist. I'm just the writer, just the words. All right, thanks very much.
Thank you. Well, that sounds exciting. I wanted to acknowledge Bonnie Carroll. Bonnie, wave your hand out there. Because she did a blast and talked to some of the art teachers, and I don't think we would have had the response we did from Goleta Valley Junior High School if it hadn't been for Bonnie. And I also want to acknowledge the two judges, Kathy Corey, who is... And Kathy Corey was the executive director for how many years, Kathy, of EMARNAR, or Children's Creative Project?
44.
44. You were just a kid.
Yeah.
She brought that from Italy.
The EMARNAR.
EMARNAR. She brought that.
EMARNAR 35 years.
Oh, okay. 35 years for EMARNAR. It's a great festival. And then, right here, I want to introduce Ann Hefferman, who has been for the last 15 years going to Puerto Vallarta and doing her artwork over there, chalk artwork. So, and she's going to give you some information here.
Are we doing the judging now? Or what do you want me to say? Yeah, well, okay.
I'd like to call Kathy Corey up to the podium, please, so you can see her from a frontal view. So Kathy and I are both long-term members of the Santa Barbara Puerto Vallarta Sister City Committee. And I'm going to let Kathy talk a little bit about the festival that we have there, which is one of the programs that our Santa Barbara Sister City Committee maintains with the group down there. And then we'll get to the judging.
Okay, so in 2006, thank you, I was invited to begin a street painting festival in Puerto Vallarta. And this actually followed after taking artists to Toba, Japan, another sister city of ours. We took 10 artists there. But anyway, I helped them, I worked with them to start developing a street painting festival in Puerto Vallarta. So this has been going about 15 years, and it's going to start up again, thank goodness, in November. So it's the weekend of, I think it's 11th and 12th of November. So we'll be taking a few artists down from Santa Barbara's festival, and in addition to the adult artists who come, many of them from Puerto Vallarta, to draw with chalk on the plaza, the main plaza in Puerto Vallarta. We also have children from the schools come and draw as well, of all ages. So it's really an amazing, beautiful event down there. And the first prize winner, adult, and there are other prizes too, but the first prize winner is then able to come to Santa Barbara and participate in our festival here. So that's really nice. And anyway, that's what's happening. Santa Barbara's festival is going to be at the Old Mission again this year in May on the Memorial Day weekend. So that's the last weekend in May. And as a little side note for the students that are here, if you're interested in architecture or just want to draw, Kids Draw Architecture is doing a free event at the courthouse. So you can come on May 1st to the courthouse and draw. And then they create a calendar from that is sold around town.
What time?
I think it's at 1 o'clock, but you might want to double check that on their website. It's the Architectural Foundation of Santa Barbara that puts that on. Okay?
Just say a little bit about the history.
Okay, Gil Garcia would like to say a little bit about the history.
Yes, I'd like to talk a little bit about the history. Since this is our 50th anniversary, I want to share with you, and I'm the oldest, probably one of the oldest guys here, so I have a good memory of the history of how all this started. Now, it was, anybody remember or recall how Aymaranari started in Puerto Vallarta? Good, nobody knows, so I'm going to tell you how it started. It was in 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago, that Aymaranari went to Toba, Japan. And they did a Aymaranari drawing on, I guess it was a sidewalk or something in Toba, Japan.
It was the city building, the city council, so to speak, city office building, parking lot.
Parking lot. Okay, and then it was interesting that it rained that day, and they had to do Aymaranari under tents.
Yeah, they erected tents.
They erected tents so they could draw Aymaranari on the city parking lot. It was amazing how they made that work. Well, then they came back, did a video of it, and they had a presentation at a Kiwanis meeting. And Marty and I attended that Kiwanis meeting. We saw the presentation, and we looked at each other and said, we got to bring this to Puerto Vallarta. And that's how it all started, 15 years ago. So I think that it's important that we know, since we are sharing the history, and we have 50 years, and we know how everything started in Puerto Vallarta. Thank you.
Okay, are we ready to announce the winners? Yes? All right, so first of all, and I wish Kathy would come back up here and stand. Don't make me be the bad judge. We did this together. We both want to specify that this is a really difficult thing to do. Judging artwork is so subjective and so unfair because all of the students that entered pieces in this are winners. And we really believe that everybody thought deeply about the concept. The theme this year was about water conservation and climate change and water pollution. So all the pieces that you see inside really do reflect that. So what we judged the pieces on, we had 3 categories, and it was very close in many cases. One category was for theme, interpretation, creativity, and originality. Another category was composition and design. And then finally, craftsmanship and skill. So we rated them numerically, and the results will be henceforth. So, I need to tell you about the sponsors of these prizes. The first prize of $250 is sponsored by Pacific Premier Bank. I don't know if there's anybody here from the bank, but we thank them very much for that contribution. And the second and third prize, the first, second, and third prizes are all monetary prizes. So second prize is $200, third prize is $100, and those two are sponsored by the Santa Barbara Puerto Vallarta.
Santa Barbara Sister City Board.
By the Santa Barbara Sister City Board. Okay, so, and then we have two honorable mentions. All 5 of these winners, their works will be submitted to Sister Cities International for another competition that is international. So it'll be a clean slate, and you'll be competing against entries that are from around the world. Okay, so should we start with I'm going to start from the bottom up. That sounds terrible. I'm going to start with honorable mention number 1 is number 25, Celia Luis, and it's the images of Mars.
Can I bring it up?
And sure.
25.
So this one is probably in my mind, the most unusual one on the table and in all of that room. It's original because of its point of view. It's from an astronaut looking at or it's the Earth reflected in the astronaut's helmet. So, and also it's a very skillful use of watercolor. So that's our first honorable mention. The second honorable mention is Hannah Lovejoy, who is here. So we can give her an applause, Hannah. Okay. Hannah's piece is koi fish swimming in a shrinking pond of water, and surrounded by dry earth. And Hannah, your use of color is fantastic. Also, I truly appreciate the work you put into all those scales, because that's tedious, and you pay really close attention to rendering that. Congratulations. And thank you all for being here. Yes. Okay, so the third prize, third prize, and this is a cash prize of $100. The piece number is 28, and it is done by Veronique Durham. It's a diptych. Make sure you have the right one.
28.
Yes. Okay, this one, if you can look at it closely after all these announcements are made, the illustrative quality of this piece, it shows a healthy environment versus a dying environment. And just the use of pen and ink and the detail, I think, this one is, just in terms of illustration, it's high quality. So congratulations to Veronique. Okay, so prize number 2, second prize goes to piece number 11, done by Chloe Copeland. It's this glass of water. This one was chosen. This one was very difficult to, it has, I don't know, it's just hard not to give this one a first prize also, because it was so well done. The watercolor, if anybody has painted with watercolor, is really difficult. And she has really rendered the water and the reflection of the water beautifully, and also, like the previous winner, the illustrative quality is excellent. And the theme. So I don't know if you had a chance to read the backs of the pieces, but it says, my entry into the contest is a watercolor picture of the earth being dropped into a glass of water to rehydrate it and restore the water taken. So this is a perfect example of how much thought went into each piece. And then finally, the first prize winner is Itzel Rocha. And this is this image of the whale. It's a combination of just an original idea, and then the skill of the composition. And then if you look closely at it, her rendering in pencil is just, she really took a lot of time to, with the tonal qualities of it. So in terms of the concept also, it shows a whale decomposing on top of the few water left. What this is representing is the lives we are endangering and how far it could get to without stopping climate change and water sustainability progressing. So congratulations to the winner.
Thank you, judges. That had to be hard.
It was very hard.
I'm glad I wasn't a judge, but thank you very much. I forgot to introduce one person from The Voice. Hi, and your name?
Daisy Scott.
Daisy Scott. Thank you for coming.